Welcome to Twisted Monday. And it's Harbor City. No reason to belabor the point. Let's just begin with Pit Viper. The reason I'm picking Pit Viper is to build excitement for my upcoming speedruns in some marathons. I am playing Twisted Metal 1 in 2 upcoming marathons before the end of the year. Lucky me. And lucky those marathons. So I'm choosing a Twisted Metal 1 specific character who never got to be in any other game that wasn't immediately canceled. So that's why we're looking at Pit Viper. Those speedrun marathons are going to be Fastest Furs again. I was in that marathon last year, and they are gracious enough to have me back. That'll be Twisted Metal 1. The only game that I bothered to submit. Played on Thursday, the 21st of this very month, at 4:37 p.m. ish. One down. And then, in December 12th even, 12/12, easy to remember, at 8 p.m., Power Up with Pride is having me on to play Twisted Metal once again. I feel like any speedrun of a Twisted Metal game is going to be different enough that it's worth tuning into both. But that means I'm going to have to do a lot of practice specifically of Twisted Metal 1. A game which I practiced a great deal, gotten much better at, but I don't want to take any risks. And I will be practicing it later in this very stream. If I am indeed capable of beating Harbor City again. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Sort of got Black's difficulty with head-ons, fragility. You die fast in this game, no matter what vehicle you're playing as, and I'm playing as a pretty flimsy one. And you cannot recover your lives no matter what you do. That is not a feature they bothered to implement before leaking this unfinished version of the game. But I got my 3 lives, and I need to make them work for 3 levels, each of which has numerous required fatalities. I'm going to play relatively safe. I also don't know these levels very well. I love that effect. For some reason, the corpses are buried inside their own tombstones, not the graves. That's how they do things in Harbor City. Inefficient though it may be, it's a cool effect. True headstones. I feel like Sweet Tooth could murder me outright with a single special, and I don't want to find out if that's true. You'll note that our special is a green homing missile. Best they could do to emulate the acid ball that Pit Viper is known for. Still got 2 kills left. Oh, never mind. Still had 2 enemies left, but only 3 were required to be killed. They start you with 5. And now I just gotta get out of here. Which is not especially easy. Especially because the minimap is a very poor indicator of where we need to go, but I think it's through here. Past the graffiti, of which there is very, very little. I feel like the finished game would have had a little more. Also, a casual reminder that the game had no music, so when I play games that either have no music or licensed music, I like to add my own soundtrack, so there's not just the game's glitched out, extremely loud engine noises that we have to hear through the entire run. And therefore, if you hear a familiar song, it's because I stole it from a different game. Uh-oh, a building landed on me. But that's fine because we clipped through the debris. This whole level mostly seems to collapse. Just pick an arbitrary building and see if I can blow it up. I was able to blow up one of these, yep. Seems the buildings have a little bit of solidness to them. And this famous structure, statue honoring Larry Harbor, after whom the city is named. That's the problem. I'm going to get caught up on exploring this game to the detriment of my own survivability, because this might be the last time I ever have new Twisted Metal levels at my disposal. And these ones are shockingly detailed for having never been completed and released. There's a lot to see and a lot to do. I will probably be discovering destructibles in this game for quite a while. Which is why I intend to keep playing, specifically Harbor City, for a bit. I don't think I'll be switching games to other Twisted Metals for a while. Just continuing to explore this one. I'm rather excited to play more Twisted Metal Harbor City. If only I were Grasshopper, I would have been able to make that jump. Oh, hey. There's the health refill. There aren't very many in each level. That was the thing with Head On that sort of balanced it. Your characters were fragile, but health refills were all over the place, and they respawned very, very often. That is less the case here. I have a harder time surviving. I think this is one of the games where your own gas cans will harm you. I'm going to try not to shoot myself with them. That looked like a health refill. This level is obscenely large, so there's just stuff everywhere. The minimap has so little detail. I don't even know if I'm going to places I've been before. But I don't mind. Oh, I'm dropping frames left and right. Why are you doing this to the internet? Might as well fix that. Hey, at least I'm not fully disconnected. There's a small mercy. Should pose little difference to graphical fidelity, and yet that's not really alleviated. Apparently my maximum bitrate is in the gutter right now. Better. Much better. Sorry about the choppiness up until this point. But, like I said, we're gonna be coming back to Harbor City a lot. So, we'll make up for it. Oh man, 2 enemies caught in the sky. That just seems to happen in this part of the level. Hopefully I don't have to hunt and kill any of them. I think what might be happening is there's probably a collapsed building that creates a platform up in that area. They're on the platform before the building has collapsed, maybe? I'm very sick of Outlaw. Outlaw is everywhere. And his special is really annoying. Another one down. Probably 1 or 2 more to get out of here. I don't think I'm gonna go through this deathless. Maybe. I remember where 1 health refill is. That's probably enough. That building no longer exists, despite appearances. Perhaps it'll properly despawn soon. Yeah, poor Pit Viper here has no HP. Very similar to most incarnations of Grasshopper. And, it seems like the shield ability is working, it just doesn't have any graphics to it. A little hard to tell. But the fact that I'm not dead seems to indicate that shields exist and are functional. Two can play at the game of putting pressure on an enemy until they just drop dead. Dropping frames again. Get somewhere somewhat safe. And fix it a little bit, maybe. The lowest bit rate I've had in a long time. I might have to start streaming from my partner's place at this rate. They just dropped the local monopoly because a contender showed up with much lower rates, lower costs per month, and much, much higher and more consistent bit rate for everything. Missed out Zoomy missiles. They destroyed everything but the enemy I was trying to shoot. Okay. Should be one more enemy. Shields definitely work, but I can't tell how long they're active. I haven't really used this ricochet. It's Twisted Metal Black style, that's good. Thumper's shields actually are visible. Thumper is clearly a more complete vehicle. Is it still alive? Must be still alive. Test my special. Thoroughly functional. All that's left is more Thumpers. I remember this level being particularly hard to get out of after you get all the requisite kills. Debris makes it super hard to even tell where the road is. This feels like something. The second green line on the map. God knows what that might indicate. Or does he? Let's see. Ooh, that's... yeah, an indicator not to go here, therefore we should go here. And escape the level. Merciful. And overdue. And going into the final level with pretty much full resources. Can't ask for much more than that. Also, this song kind of kicks ass. I wonder what it is. Ah, Nightmare Cart. Makes sense. I added hundreds of tracks. Very willy-nilly. Only giving them the barest preview. Make sure they weren't wildly inappropriate. I've always had this theory that there's a perfect use for every song that has ever been written. Just somewhere you would want to use that song and it will just fit perfectly in that situation where no other song would possibly match that degree of perfection. course, that is impossible to test, because you'd have to listen to every song and test it in every situation. But it more or less has played out in my years of stealing music and putting it in various unintended situations. Surely this thing will be destroyed and rolled across the level. Maybe not. Wishful thinking. Probably would have been in the finish game, which will never exist. Granted, neither will the Twisted Metal follow-up game. Tie-in with the TV show, unless this new season that they just finished shooting and are probably going to release next year is a, like, substantially greater success than the first season, which is very unlikely. I'm thinking this is a 2-season show, and we're lucky we got that second season. But streaming shows have done the math, and you cancel them on the second season. As a rule, no matter how well they do. Someone's going to destroy themselves, and dead. Free kill for me. Thank you, Out of Bounds, which apparently works better than Twisted Metal Lost, an officially released game. Because if they go out of bounds in that game, they just become invincible forever. Your life is ruined. Not thrilled that he's going in here. Hoping not to get grabbed. Still hate Mr. Slam. As much as he's a cool vehicle, and I understand why he's a fan favorite, his mechanics are just so obnoxious. Pretty much got this in the bag, though. I might have to experiment with upping the difficulty. I think I'm going to stream this game again next week, and I think at that time I'm going to try the next highest difficulty up. See if it is completely broken. So we're lucky we have one functional difficulty in this game. Perhaps the others are just for show. We'll find out. And then after next week, the Thursday after next Twisted Monday, will be the Fastest Furs run. And I would recommend tuning into that one late, if anything. Although ideally, you'll be there for the entire 13 minutes of it. But if you show up late, there is an incentive to watch the FMV ending for Sweet Tooth that was originally intended to be in the game. It got cut. And I think it's going to be really, really fun to watch that with a live audience that has almost exclusively never seen it before. Get their live reactions to Sweet Tooth trying to be the Joker. I'm looking forward to it anyway. Hey, that eyeball is a really neat destructible. This game is really good. Way better than it has any right to be. I wish I had followed the eyeball to see where it went. What adventures it had. That is a future project. For next week when I've already forgotten everything that I did here today. Actual physics on the merry-go-round if we stand on it. That was the death of Grimm. Probably one more kill and we win. Help me out here, Axel. I appreciate your assistance. I looked it up, and indeed, the speedrun does end when it says you win on screen. Which happens when you achieve a certain number of kills in this level, even though there is an additional level. That level simply does not count. It has no win condition programmed in. So it's just a little bonus. It's the death port of this game. I guess the remaining enemies are on the roller coaster somewhere? I thought I saw one of their dots. Yeah, way out there. I might have to have just declared this a victory. Even though I didn't get my "you win" screen. Because I'm not sure the remaining enemies are accessible, and I don't think the game is going to automatically kill them for me the way they did that other off-screen enemy. Times like these, I wish I was Spectre. Yeah, here's how many of my Twisted Metal Lost runs have ended. My special looks like Spectre's, maybe it functions like Spectre's, and I just haven't realized it yet. It does. At least according to the minimap. That said, I think the enemies are too far out of bounds for even that to get to them. So, unless I'm missing something, I think I just have to decide that I won. Despite all evidence to the contrary. And that may or may not be anticlimactic. Hopefully not. That dot is getting bigger. But I don't think I can get to it. This is pretty much where you start when you enter the level. I don't think there's anything further than here. So that's Twisted Metal Harbor City. Woefully unfinished. Still, my beautiful baby boy. And I'm very proud of him. Nice work, Harbor City. You tried your best, and that's what counts. Blackbeard Circus. With 2 consecutive signs. Oh, there's the eyeball. Fun. Oh, I think I killed it. Nope, it's still alive. I wish, like, the gas can in Twisted Metal Black that unlocks the secret area in the highway loop didn't just immediately die if it touched the vehicle. You could bounce it around like that eyeball. Anyway, since this was bound to be an anticlimax regardless of whether or not the game broke, I prepared a little conclusion for us. What I've done here is, if you follow my channel, you may have noticed that recently I uploaded the endings to Twisted Metal 2012 because no one had previously bothered to do so. So, the purpose of doing that was to complete my All Twisted Metal's endings playlist here on YouTube. There it is. And the purpose of making this playlist was so that I could randomly select any one ending to show off to end one of these streams that didn't have an ending. So this game and Twisted Metal Lost. Now I can just improvise endings and steal them from other games in the franchise. Of course, YouTube's randomizer is completely worthless, but what I have right here is physical D10. 2 of them, which the D&D nerd in you will know already. That's a D100. Listen to that beautiful sound. Pretty sure my mic is barely picking it up. Okay. You're not going to believe that I just rolled the number 1, which is Sweet Tooth's ending from Twisted Metal 1. I'm gonna I'm gonna veto that one because it's probably going to get played in 2 weeks on Fastest Furs, so try again. This is all part of my ongoing effort to court tabletop role-playing nerds like myself. And the best way to do that clearly is to roll dice off-screen at the end of a stream of a completely non-role-playing related thing. Anyway, 73. There happens to be precisely 100 Twisted Metal endings as of this date. If they release no further games, there will always be 100. The one and only creative liberty I took in making this playlist was adding my own ending to Twisted Metal Black for Minion that I edited together out of his loading screens to the playlist. Possibly a controversial choice, but the choice I made. Got that down. And watch. Ending 73. Outlaw from Twisted Metal Small Brawl.
I've been saving this one for you, Billy Calypso. Say your prayers, Calypso.
Darn stupid freaking flash, I was smitten you over.
I might re-record that and upload a higher quality version to YouTube someday. But that got the job done. I should probably replace all these Small Brawl videos and definitely all the Twisted Metal Black videos, which are in the completely wrong aspect ratio. They've just been stretched out. Work in progress, but for now, that obviously is a very conclusive and satisfying ending. Trust me when I say. And that is a run of Twisted Metal Harbor City completed. Sort of. Sorry for the anticlimax, but we're gonna practice some Twisted Metal 1 speedruns. And be back with more Harbor City next week, and maybe the game will actually finish. Only one way to find out. Tune in for Fastest Furs on the 21st, and Power Up with Pride on the 12th of next month. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.